This is the brand new XPeng G6 Standard, one of the most affordable electric SUVs on the market. And this is my review full of details. Welcome to It's Only Electric. Let's start.
It's only electric.
It's a mid-size SUV with almost the exact same measurements as the Tesla Model Y, with a total length of 4.75 meters and a wheelbase of 2.9. The curb weight is just above 2 tons, and since this is the standard version, it comes with a smaller LFP battery pack with a gross capacity of 68.2 kilowatt-hours and a net capacity of 66. The stated WLTP range for this setup is 470 kilometers. It may be the fastest charging car in this price class on the market. The charge port is placed on the right rear fender with a DC charge speed or fast charging capacity of 382 kilowatts, 10 to 80% stated in 12 minutes. That's really sick. And I'm gonna test that in my next video. I put the link up here when that's available. Driving on the rear wheels only with a permanent synchronous motor here at the rear, putting out 185 kilowatts, 253 horsepower or 440 newton-meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds with a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Equipped as a standard with these beautiful 20-inch rims, comes with the Michelin Pilot Sport EV tires, 255/45 all around, so a non-staggered setup. On the outside, you can't see any difference between the standard version and the long-range version. This looks as good as the long-range version, and it is also, of course, built on the facelifted one. You see that by looking at the light bar that's crossing the whole front area, the closed grille, very sleek and aerodynamic looks here. The headlight unit is actually placed on the lower parts of the bumper. It kind of reminds me of this black dragon in this animated kids movie. Don't remember the name, but that's a good thing. Underneath the hood, there is still no frunk, despite being only rear-wheel drive. This video is sponsored by 3W. 3W stands for durable, safe and perfectly fitted floor mats for your car. It's a good idea to protect your XPeng G6 from mud, snow and rain with a set of dual layer floor mats. The installation process is super simple thanks to its perfect fit and finish. It's eco-friendly and non-toxic, made of 100% recycled materials and without any nasty rubber smells. With a double lock design, the carpet on top is super easy to remove and to keep clean. You just rinse it with some water. Personally, I run it with the carpet on top in good weather conditions or during summer, and during winter I remove the carpet and run it with the rubber mats only. The second row comes as one giant piece with the same fit and finish as in the front. Also with the dual layer setup with the carpet on top for easy removal. 3W provides premium floor mats for all kind of vehicle brands such as Tesla, Skoda, Kia and XPeng. So get your discount by scanning the QR code or using the affiliate link in the description below and visit the official website now. Let's move over to the rear. A big air spoiler on top with a hidden rear windshield wiper underneath that spoiler. The new thing with the facelifted version is the small ducktail here and the redesigned tail lights. This part does make the biggest difference between the pre-facelift and this version. It really changes the dynamics of the whole car. Before it was a bit too egg-shaped for my taste. Now it's a bit more balanced, it's a bit more sporty, does look a bit more aerodynamic and not only a drop shape anymore. When it comes to the color setup, I really think that the black version of this may be the best looking color for the G6. And when it comes to the practical aspects, Still a powered liftgate, storage capacity 571 liters. That includes the under storage compartment with plenty of space for cables, etc. There's also a smaller compartment here in the front. You have the subwoofer on the left side. On the right side you will find a 12-volt outlet. This is the partial shelf divider. It's possible to remove. You can't hide it, but you can still put it here. You don't need to leave it in the back seat or outside the car. Foldable seats, still only a 2-split setting, 40/60. You fold the seats flat from here, so that's convenient. You can equip it with a tow hitch with a tow capacity of 1,500 kilograms. It's time to check out the interior. And the G6 does have plenty of space on the second row. As you see, the front seat is adjusted after my driver position. I'm 6'4", 193 centimeters tall. My knees are not touching. I'm sitting in the straightest position. It's possible to squeeze my feet underneath the front seat, even if it's in its lowest position, so that's always good. When it comes to the angle of the backrest, this is the straightest position. There is a lever here on the left side, just next to the seat. And now we are in its most reclined position, and I have almost 1 fist of headroom, not touching the headliner at all, even if I'm in this case underneath the headliner and not the panoramic glass roof. So still plenty of headroom. In the straightest position I have over 1 fist, almost 1.5 fist of headroom. So plenty of space here at the back, even for grown-ups. When it comes to the angle and thigh support, the bench, the height of it is surprisingly high, giving me decent thigh support, even if I'm very tall to put in the back seat. So overall, plenty of space. One of the better rear spaces available in this class for sure. Frameless doors, not dual pane windows or insulation glass here or acoustic glass here at the back. You have that in the front. But still, for being frameless, it's surprisingly firm and does not have any rattling sounds. You have the built-in speakers with this nice graphics, the perforated fake leather, the 2-tone setup with built-in ambient lighting here hiding underneath the top part. Soft cushioned, soft materials. That also goes for this part. You have a cushioned armrest, very long, so we can really utilize it all the way, independent on which angle you have on the backrest. That's nice. A opener here, it's electronic, so you just single tap it to open. You also have a hidden lever or rope for popping the rear doors if you don't have any power. So you remove that and pull the strap, and you can still open the door from the back seat. But it's good to always instruct the rear passengers of this, especially on long trips and your kids. You have this armrest with a adaptive unfoldable cup holder. You can hide it. It's wide, it's soft, and it's in a decently nice position for giving you a good support. Headrests also soft and cushioned, adjustable height-wise. Other comfortable things is that the mid-console consists of 2 manual air ventilations. Just underneath that you have 2 USB-C ports. You have pockets for storing things, storage in the door bins for bottles, etc. The panoramic glass roof really lifts the cabin, both height-wise, but also the feeling of space is really nice compared to the Tesla Model Y that only gets the closed roof. This actually has the same panoramic glass roof as the long-range version. Let's move over to the front. The immediate feel is that there is not much of a compromise going for the standard range version. I mean, other than the battery size and the actual range. So the seats does not have the Nappa leather that you get in the long-range versions. It's equipped with leatherette, so fake leather all over. This light interior, light gray I would say, is still nice. Gives you almost the same feeling as the Nappa leather, not far from actually. So I don't see that as a big downside. Still a great interior. The screen layout is also exactly the same, with an instrument cluster of 10.25 inch, companioned by the central horizontally aligned media screen, a touchscreen of 15.6 inch. Same setup, same resolution, same functionality as in the long range versions. Dual Qi charger setup with active ventilation that gets active when you put your phone on top of the charger. You have two cup holders, adaptive. You have plenty of space here underneath the central compartment, and also a storage area underneath the chargers with one USB-A, one USB-C, and one 12-volt outlet. I mean, you have everything you want in this car when it comes to equipment. One thing that you may miss that goes for all G6s is that it doesn't come with a traditional glove box. This is just closed. There's no storage in that compartment at all. Other than that, you have manual air ventilations, a striped ambient lighting on the dash, and you have, as in the back, the same kind of hidden ambient lighting on the door sides. Same materials as in the back, the same perforated speaker grills, the power window controllers, the door opener. The materials in general are the same as in the back. So that means one thing. That means that the back seat does have a high quality interior. Steering wheel to the left, you control the driver aid systems. You also have a star, that's a favorite button. If you long press that, you can customize it to one of your favorite shortcuts, like enable auto parking assist, open close the charge port, turn off the camera, open the trunk. So a couple of different features that you can bind to that button. You have the voice control activation. Other than that, you have the, when actively driving, you can adjust the speed limit and the distance to the cars in front of you. When not having LCC active, it acts like for the moment, a rocker for the interior temperature. You can also customize the left side of the instrument cluster, as you see here, toggling the different content cards. To the right, you have the same kind of function to the steering wheel, where you can toggle the content on the right side. Other than that, you have the media controls and the menu navigation here, collected on one place. It's a manually adjustable steering wheel. Another difference that I have heard of, or at least stated by XPeng's homepage, is that there is a missing function of massage here at the front, but that's not true. The front seats actually comes with both heating, cooling, and massage. And of course also powered. So we adjust the seats here from the side of the seat. And they are to the shorter side, but the angle of it is pretty steep. So even for me, that's 192 centimeters tall, I think I can find a pretty nice driving position here. Headrest adjustable in height-wise, softly cushioned, fairly good position of that too. You don't have any direct bolsterings for supporting more active driving, so they are more to the comfortable and flat side. So don't expect it to be good when driving on a track, for instance. But I mean, that's not the purpose of the car. You still have all the comfort functionality. For an entry-level standard car, I'm really surprised to see functions like massage in both front seats. It's time to start driving. Talk about the driving dynamics, the feel, the comfort, etc. Now driving on gravel, bit uneven, some potholes, to test out the suspension. I mean, the suspension is a traditional passive suspension with passive dampers and coils or springs. Actually, what you can expect from this price point. With that said, it's still silent. It's still a well-balanced suspension. The tuning is good, according to me. It's not super soft that some Xpengs tend to have or had previously. They seem to have like fixed that. So it's slightly stiffer than the older versions or pre-facelift version. It is not as stiff as in the Tesla Model Y, for instance. It's slightly softer despite running on 20-inch rims. I think it's a very good blend or mix. It does give you some body roll, but still you stay and feel in control. You don't get seasick. It's not too soft in the leaning either. So simplified, I like the tuning of the suspension. Let's move over to the different drive modes. There is no dedicated button for toggling the drive modes. You can do it with your voice, but I tend to do it on the screen. There is a sub menu called Drive where you have the different drive modes. So Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Individual. If you start with Eco, you also have this toggling sound or sound effects. In Eco, you get a very sluggish feeling. When you floor it, it takes up to 1.5 seconds before it actually starts putting out kind of a granularly, kind of a progressive output increase. It takes a bit of time before you get the whole power out. When you toggle that to Comfort, you have a power response also switching to Comfort, and it gets a bit quicker but still picks up the pace slowly. And in Sport, let me try the difference. It's still not super direct. It's still kind of a small delay. Let me start from a standstill and see. Yeah, it's really slow from the start. So you really need to floor it a bit earlier because the delay is like 1 second before you get the actual response. There's a sub-setting called Launch, which will give you 10 Newton meters of extra torque. Let me see if I feel a difference. Yeah, it feels a bit more powerful, a bit more responsive. If I start from a standstill, let me see if the response is quicker. No, this response is still sluggish. Still takes a second before it picks up the speed, but it feels slightly quicker with Launch activated. So if we toggle over to Individual, we can see the different settings. First off, the power response, which I just talked about. You have Eco, Comfort, Sport. You have the power steering setting, which I like to have on normal or heavy because it's fairly heavy even on normal. It is not as over smooth as you get it in the G9. The brake pedal feel also 3 different levels: smooth, normal, and sensitive. I like to have it on normal. And a warning, hit the brake. It saw the car, but I wasn't even close. Oh, doesn't matter. If you walk over to the regenerative braking, that's something I always want to spend some time on. You have the possibility to completely disable it. Now it's in stop mode. That's the X pedal mode or a 1 pedal drive. If I toggle that off and set it to disable, I will be able to coast completely. Yeah, it's a complete coast. And in low, it adds some slight regen, more like a combustion engine feel, but it keeps rolling under 10 kilometers per hour. And in medium, I'm just gonna remove this because this makes a lot of noise. In medium, you get slightly more aggression in the regen, and in high, it's strong. And the good thing is that it doesn't really engage immediately. It takes half a second or 1 second to engage the region when letting go of the accelerator, which will give you some time to adjust your right foot and not making the passenger seasick. If you toggle on the stop mode, you need to be stationary to do that. Then you will get the one pedal driving, which will bring the car to a full stop. Still on high. And as you see, slowing down and nicely stops the car fully. And you can still toggle the different region modes all the way down to low. You can't disable it, obviously, because disabling the region is not one pedal driving. So that way you can actually adjust the feeling of the one pedal driving. One complaint I have though is that in one pedal mode or stop mode in low speeds, it's too jerky. So when I let go of the accelerator, it kicks in too quick and too hard. Could have been a bit more granular, at least in the startup, and then you don't get this jerky feel. It's really easy to get seasick when stop mode is active, especially in city driving. I think this needs to be slightly adjusted to be a bit more forgiving. Because the same thing goes for the accelerator. When you repress the accelerator to gain some speed, in low speeds it tends to be a bit too aggressive when stop mode is active. Kicks in a bit too much torque from the start. So some adjustments could be done on the rear motor to behave a bit softer. One thing that you don't get in the standard version of the G6 is the auto lane change, or the assisted lane change, so-called. So when you activate LCC and want to change the lane, it doesn't move the car for you. You do that yourself. But the good thing is that it still reactivates the LCC after putting the car in the right lane, but no automatic change or assisted change. That's the only thing that's different when it comes to the software or the self-driving capabilities. That's not much. You still get a very sophisticated park assist or auto park help. Let me see if I can do that here. Activate that function. So for instance, now it sees the different spots, as you see here. So let me take that one next to, no, not that one, I want to have that one behind that car. Start auto park. Let's see how it fixes this. Good cameras, high quality. Okay. And I recently got a OTA update just yesterday, improving the park assist function. So you will get over-the-air updates. I think that's a question I get a lot. Does XPeng, for instance, bring over-the-air updates like Tesla does? Yes, they do. And probably not as often, on a weekly basis almost, as Tesla. But they do push out updates all the time. Now it's done. It actually felt safe. I usually tend to feel a bit stressed when auto parking. But back to the software, you get OTA updates, you get them fairly often, and every time I test a XPeng, it does have a new software version with new functions, both when it comes to the driving capabilities, but also the software, the entertainment, etc. One thing that I really need to tell you and show you on the screen is the smartness of X Combo. In a lot of videos, I'm complaining about the beeping in many cars. It also goes for the G6. But there is a very simple solution for that. The first thing is that XPeng tends to have kind of a behavior-driven software architecture, which means that when you get the first beep, about the speed limit or driver drowsiness, you get a pop-up on the screen where you can disable it immediately. You don't need to toggle around in the menus. But even better than that, there is something called X Combo. And there is a couple of or plenty of already set up combos. It works like if then do that. So some certain set of trigger rules can trigger functions. So for instance, the smartest one I have seen yet, and this is the only one I have seen of this kind in any car, it's the one called one tap switch for alert sounds. If we have a look at that, there is a couple of rules. So the first condition is when the driver enters the vehicle, you will get a pop-up, and if you confirm that, it will disable the driver status warning, the emergency lane keeping warning, the intelligent speed limit warning. All these functions are automatically disabled if you only press that pop-up. So I will show you how it actually works. So now I
Mobile phone left in the vehicle.
pretend to exit the car. I close the door and I get the X combo question. I confirm that one. Everything is now disabled without even starting up the car. That's clever. I wish all cars or car manufacturers did it this clever. Almost feels like an edge case of what's okay to do software-wise and still adhere to all the regulations. But I love it. I think it's one of the best features of the G6. We have been looking at the exterior, the specifications, the practicality, the rear bench or the rear seat, space, comfort, the front, the interior as a whole, and the driving dynamics of the G6 Standard. And with that said, this is an impressive package. Its biggest contender is the Tesla Model Y. Price-wise, they start at the exact same price point, but currently Tesla kind of has a drive where you get like 4,500 euros or 50,000 Swedish crowns as a discount. If you don't count that, the price level is exactly the same. You get more equipment though in the G6. I mean, the LCC functionality with the auto parking assist, the reactivation of the LCC when changing the lane. The sound system is almost as good as, or probably a bit better than the sound system you get in the Tesla Model Y Standard. You have the fake leather seats with a good feel. You have massage, ventilation, and heating at the front. Also heating at the back. You still have the glass roof. You have all equipment, and all that in a package starting from 499,000 Swedish crowns or 44,000 euros. And that's a all-inclusive price. The only thing you can add or change is the exterior color and a tow bar. That's all. Otherwise, everything is included. And that's really attractive. I have a hard time picking which car that's the best value for money, comparing this to the Model Y. I think this may be slightly more attractive due to its technology. I mean, 800 volt charging, 10 to 80% in 13 minutes, if you find the right charger. The level of comfort is slightly higher. The equipment you get is more. The interior space is same. I would say the boot capacity is the same if you don't count the missing frunk in this one. I mean, you get a lot. And a LFP battery pack. You charge it to 100% all the time. So you can actually utilize the whole range. And it's efficient. Maybe not as efficient as the Model Y, but really not far from. very close to the Model Y in efficiency. I'm actually testing the actual range, consumption, charging and cabin noise in the upcoming video. I'll put the link up here when that's available so you don't miss that. I have some things to complain about, or did complain about. One thing was the jerkiness of the one pedal drive in low speeds. It's a bit too direct when you let go of the accelerator, and when you press it again it gets a bit jerky and hard to control without like making the passenger seasick. The second thing that annoys me is the exterior pedestrian warning sound. It's getting played inside the cabin too, and I don't find a function of turning that off, and it can get so extremely annoying because it's so intense for the inside the cabin. So when driving under 30 kilometers per hour, you will hear that sound or noise disturbing your brain. And I don't get why I can't turn it off. Why do they emit that sound into the cabin? That really beats me. They really need to fix that with software. It's enough to having it on the outside. But that is still not enough to not recommending this car. I mean, the overall package is extremely good. To summarize my experience with the car, I have been driving it for almost 10 days actually. My simple summary is the G6 Standard may be too good for the rest of the lineup. There is no caveats or no downsides that you need to care about going for the standard range version. I mean, the range is still good enough, and since it's LFP, you charge it to 100%, and the charging is so good. Slightly lower peak speeds than the bigger battery packs, but that makes it easier to actually hit the top speed on more chargers. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, hype it, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, engage into the comments section. Ask me questions and share your thoughts about the XPeng G6 Standard. Most importantly, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.